Module 1, The Foundation of Marketing, Lesson 1. Hey everyone, welcome to today's deep dive. Today, we're completely stripping down the complexities of business to look at its absolute bedrock, the true foundation of marketing. And listen, if you really grasp the core concepts we're laying out today, honestly, all your future strategies and all those little tactics are gonna seamlessly fold into one logical system. It's a real game changer.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the birth of marketing. We're going back 1,000 years.
I want you to just completely clear your mind of all the modern buzzwords, okay? Forget about algorithms, ignore social media for a second, take a deep breath, and let's travel back in time. Imagine a small, bustling village exactly 1,000 years ago. In this village, survival literally relies on just a few core tradesmen, right? You've got the baker waking up before dawn, the blacksmith sweating over a hot forge, the farmer growing wheat, and the shoemaker crafting leather. Everyone has their very distinct role, and the whole shebang works because everyone relies on each other.
But looking at this little village, a really crucial question comes up. How does the baker actually know what kind of bread the people in the village need? Like, does he just guess? Does he bake what he personally likes to eat? No way. He has to understand his neighbors. He has to know exactly who wants those heavy, dark loaves for, long energy out in the fields, and who needs the softer bread. This precise moment of inquiry, actually figuring out what the village needs before ever lighting the oven, this is the exact moment in human history where marketing first appears.
Moving on to Section 2, the main misconception. This is the big mistake most people make.
All right, aggressively snap back to the present day. Somewhere between that ancient village and today, we got incredibly confused. If you go out and ask most people today, hey, what is marketing? You'll almost always get one of three answers. Oh, it's advertising, or it's promotion, or it's sales. Let me be crystal clear here. All three of those answers are dangerously incomplete. Saying marketing is just advertising is literally like saying a car is just a steering wheel. And this brilliantly illustrates how those concepts are really just tiny fragments of a much bigger picture. Which brings us to Section 3, the real system. Let's actually define marketing. So, if it's not just running ads or, closing a sale, what actually is it? Well, let's move to the real system and see how this all builds, because marketing is actually a comprehensive 6-part framework. First, it starts with figuring out what people genuinely need. Second, understanding why they need it, their underlying motivations. Third, only then do you figure out how to create the right product. Fourth, how to talk about it in a way that actually resonates. Fifth, how to make people want to buy it. And finally, number 6, how to retain those clients long term. Look at that list. Notice how far down we had to go before we even mentioned convincing someone to buy? And this brings us to our golden rule. Seriously, if you take only one thing away from this entire breakdown, let it be this. Marketing starts long, long before advertising. That word before is absolutely crucial. It's the key to everything. Actually, scratch that. It is everything. If you're creating a product first and then scratching your head trying to figure out how to market it, you are already working backwards. Section 4, Marketing in Practice. Let's look at the cafe analogy. Let's ground this theory in reality, all right? Imagine you've decided to open a brand new cafe in your city. Basically, there are 2 ways this plays out. First, you've got the without marketing approach. This is where you say, well, I love spicy food, so I'm going to sell spicy dishes. It's completely driven by your own ego. But plot twist, the neighborhood actually prefers traditional, home-style food. The result? A completely empty cafe. Now contrast this with the with marketing approach, where before you even think about signing a lease, you study the neighborhood. In this successful research phase, you start by carefully studying the surrounding streets. You want to find out exactly who lives and works there. So you look around and notice, oh, there are several schools and a couple of large office buildings right around the corner. Connecting those dots reveals a very specific need. These busy students and office workers need fast and expensive lunches. Notice what happened here. You haven't cooked a single meal yet, but by simply understanding the customer's reality, you've just built a foolproof blueprint. And what's really fascinating here is how that research effortlessly dictates your execution. Because you know they need fast and cheap lunches, your menu practically writes itself. You set affordable prices that fit their budgets, you choose a convenient schedule to catch that early copy rush and the post-school crowd, and then you tell people about it. It is absolutely staggering to realize that only now, at the very final step of this entire strategic process, does the advertising actually begin.
Which brings us to a final, very important thought. Think about your own past projects, or maybe businesses you've seen close their doors in your town.
When a business fails, was it really because they had bad advertising? Or was it because they lacked a marketing system from the very beginning? Did they just bake a bread nobody asked for? I want you to keep that question lingering in your mind as you look at every product and service around you today. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown, and honestly, I can't wait to see how you apply this foundation to whatever you build next.